Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Seth Miranda here for AdoramaTV, and I've got a very fun release for you today. And I'm actually like a personal fan of this because Fujifilm has just added to the Instax family. We had the Instax Mini Evo. Well, now we've got the Instax Wide Evo. Yeah, so before this, now this. What's so great about this? A lot. It's a very tactile camera. And it's very fun, and there's a lot to actually talk about here. So let's go through the camera from front to back. You've got a 16mm lens on here with a selfie mirror, and you've got your LED flash. Great, but look at how nice and sleek and streamlined this is. In fact, the colorway and the texture on it is similar, if not the same, as the GFX 102, which is an awesome camera in its own right. You can check out the video for that with the link down below. But when I say this is tactile, I mean it. In the front, you've got a 16mm lens, but you've also got this switch for wide angle and keeping it normal. What does that do? It gives you a crop. So it's a digital zoom, but you've got enough resolution here because this is 16 megapixels on a 1/3 inch sensor. And when you use internal memory, you have 5 megapixels. So when you want to get that full 60 megapixels, just know you've got to get a micro SD card for this, which isn't that crazy because on a 64 gig card, you're getting like 17,000 images. I'm not kidding here. It's 280 images for every gig on that card. So you've got a lot of room, and you can just get a memory card, stick it in there, forget about it, and you're good to go basically. But what's so great about the Evo is you're able to shoot to a card and then decide if you want to print it. So you're not going through film if you don't want to. If you're a super purist, I totally get where you're like, no, this is the only photo that ever existed and I shot it. You still have those Instax cameras out there, but now you just have this as an option in the lineup. Also, what's very cool about this is on either side by your thumbs are these dials for changing it creatively, right? So on my right thumb, I've got a dial for film style. It's kind of like your color grade settings, you know, warm, sepia, vivid, all those, and you have 10 settings for that. On my left thumb, I've got lens styles, and I'm talking like flare options and light leaks and things like that. So you can dial between those two and get whatever combination you want. And then up top, we've got this button, which gives you another set of creative options, which is kind of basically a frame. So you can do like film sprockets, or you can do a contact sheet look, and that can just stay stable while you're flying through with your thumb, making whatever combinations you want. But then you can dial it in even more. Literally, the lens has, oh, listen, oh, the tactile. That lets you actually set the intensity of the lens effect. So a lot of things I was trying out here were like flares. Now let's say I want that flare to be a different diagonal or different direction. I just kept on spinning it till in real time I'm seeing it happen. And when I'm happy with it, I keep it, I shoot it. And then if I want it, I just crank this dial and I print it. So from front to back, like I said, it's very, very tactile. And no, there's no viewfinder, but you're seeing everything through the screen on the back. And you do have some functionality after the fact. So if you shot something, you can brighten or darken it and things like that, but there's nothing too crazy in the post menu. However, there is a firmware menu in here, and a USB-C port. So we might actually see something going forward. Keep an eye on it. If you do end up going into this camera, you might see some features getting added to it. I don't know, but it is clearly in the camera. So I want you guys to know about that. But speaking about the USB-C, internal battery, right? It takes about 2 to 3 hours to charge, which is cool. But let's say there's something going on, you can still get to the battery from this door over here, a screwdriver, you can actually still access the battery. So one of my concerns with internal battery on a lot of products are what happens when the battery goes, or if I need to change it out, or maybe even recycle it if I'm moving on from in a few years from now. You can actually get to the battery, which I think is very, very cool by Fujifilm to do that. So overall, you've got this really nice, slim, easy to carry around camera that's giving you basically the wide printer with a camera built into it, and then all these creative options. And then you can actually pair this with an app and save whatever creative options you came up with. And remember, you just look at that image that you liked from that part of that time and you go, how can I mimic that? Well, it'll save those settings for you when you get those images into the app. So then you can go and just go right back to that creative style that you want with the color grade, with the film selection and the lens selection, and also all the other things I told you about. Now, let's say you grab this thing and you want to go shoot, or you hand it to a friend and they're not too psyched on the way you put that creative setting on. There's a button right by the on-off switch. That's kind of my get out of jail free card. It just resets it, goes straight to clean. So if your all else fails and you need something shot really quickly, you can just be rest assured that if you're not into the creative style of it, you can just hit that button and you start to zero. Very, very cool, right? And it's just like pretty intuitive, but it's just fun. I don't know how else to explain it except the fact that you want to spin all the dials. You want to see what the next thing looks like. You want to create your own version of that image and be able to go to someone and give them not just what they assume would be the shot out of a camera like this, but your style of that shot. And there, like I said before, there's a flash on the front. You do actually have some settings on that. No, you don't have rear sync or anything like that, but you do have the ability to always force the flash to fire no matter what the situation is, or always keep it off no matter what the situation is. So if you want that really underexposed look or that really hardcore filled in flash look, you can still do that, which is nice to see here on this camera. And usually with these cameras, you just kind of like pick it up and take a shot and whatever happens, happens. But you actually have some intelligence inside this thing. Yeah, it has face detection. Wait, what? I know. Think about it. If you wanted to get a little more elevated than just like a soft look or whatever exposure is, you can actually get a more dialed in, cleaner image if you know what you're looking for. And if you're shooting in a scene that has multiple people and you want that person, it'll end up focusing on that person that's detecting. More than that, it's also combining like a spot metering. So it's going to prioritize the exposure on that person's face to make sure they're the main focus of that image and more than just the focus itself, right? So that's very, very cool to see. And it's just nice to see these elevated options. If you want them, they're in there. And this is that camera that lets you have all the options you want to make it the shot you want instead of whatever this camera gives me, it's going to give me. It's even got a cord of 20 on the bottom, so you can tripod this thing or grip it how you want, because you can take out the app and actually remote trigger this thing. So you can put it out, jump in there, take some shots, or if you're someone that just constantly takes selfie images, you don't just got to long arm it. You have that option with an actual remote from your phone, which is pretty cool, right? And up top with those creative framing choices I told you about, it actually lights up to let you know when they're in play. So you don't have to think about it too much. If you see that orange light is on, that means you selected something for that creative option of maybe a contact sheet or seeing the film sprockets. One thing I appreciate about this camera is it's not like other Instax cameras where you pick it up and whatever that film's white balance is, that's what you're going to, which is cool, right? That's a part of it. But let's say I'm in like fluorescent light and that's soupy and green and not that great, and I don't want to use the strobe. You can set this auto white balance or a preset for the condition you're in and then neutralize it, which is a nice way to go about it. So yeah, you still have that option of whatever the film you're using is what it's going to be if you're that romantic, or you can say, I'm going to elevate it and go the other way and clean it up if I want to. So you have both options, and that's something I personally really appreciate. And don't overlook that internal memory too much, right? I mean, yes, it shoots 5 megapixels of the 16 megapixels, but whatever state this camera is in, if you don't have a memory card in there for whatever reason, as long as it's got power, you're able to shoot an image. And let's say you want to print them later, you can. So you're not having to blow through sheets of film or spend money on film for shots you don't want. You're able to just pick this up, know you got internal memory to work with, and know when you can print them at your leisure when you want. With the internal memory, you're able to get 45 images, and that's at the 5 megapixel setting. Like I said, if you put in a micro SD card, you get 16 megapixels. So when you are looking at this camera with 45 shots to go with nothing in it, that's pretty nice. 5 megapixels, if you put in a memory card, you're getting 850 frames per gig. That is massive. And if you do want to go to 16 megapixels, meaning that it's not the crop, the wide angle setting is off on the front, you're looking at 280 frames per 1 gigabyte. That means that a 64 gig card, you're looking at like 17,000 images. I'm not kidding. You're pulling out your calculator right now. You know I'm right. It's kind of wild, but just know that the internal memory, don't overlook it. No matter what state this camera's in, if it's got a little bit of battery in it, you got 45 frames to fill on this thing. You don't got to worry about a memory card. And let's say you want to make those prints later on, you can at your leisure when you have power in the camera if it's dying or something like that. So just all those options are very cool to have, and just you're not flying through prints and spending money on film on shots you might not want. You're able to make multiple copies. You're able to make the copies you want when you want, and you're also able to get them to your phone and back to here and make prints again if you want. So like I said, think of this as like a printer with the camera built in. All right, that's gonna do it for me here with the Instax Wide Evo. If you can't tell, I'm super psyched on it, especially after owning the mini version for so long. If you guys wanna know any of the hardcore specs, hit up the link down below. You'll be able to read it for yourself. If you have any questions for me specifically about my use with it here, limited use, hit me with a comment. I'll do my best to answer it as always. And don't forget to subscribe and the bell so you get notified when we put more videos like this. We put out like a video or two every day, and a lot of it's fun toys like the Instax series. But like I said, that's gonna do it for me. I'll see you down in those comments. Be good to each other. Peace.